Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. We passed the halfway stage tonight. Wakefield are 8th, Bradford are 5th. They'll want to preserve their top 8 status after they both left Murrayfield disappointed. Team news, let's have a look at the way they line up. The Wildcats have got Murphy at fullback. Then it's Blanche, Gleeson, Dimitri, who is the captain in the centres, alongside Luke George, Cook and Obst. Forwards, it's Korkidas, Leolatu, King, Johnson, Ferguson and Kermond. And the bench occupied by Henderson, Morton, Moore and Gledhill. Coach, John Keir. For the Bradford Bulls, Halley at fullback, Sharif, Platt, Nero and Reardon, Sykes and Carney. Up front it's Scruton, Lestrange, Lynch, who is the captain, Whitehead, Warrancy and Menzies. And their interchange bench occupied by Hall, Godwin, Kopchak and young James Donaldson. The coach, the England coach, is Steve McNamara. Well, the Bradford Bulls know that their 6-game unbeaten run, their best sequence under Steve McNamara, coincidentally, came to a grinding halt in Edinburgh. 19-0 they were beaten, the first time they have failed to score in 4 years of Super League football. But be fair to them, they bounced back to form last Friday night in the Cup against the new Championship leaders Lee, and they won convincingly by 58 points to 16. And although they fancy their chances of a first Wembley since '97, they now look to establish that top 4 threat with Huddersfield seemingly on the slide. Wakefield dropped out of the 8 in Edinburgh when they were beaten 30-34 by Leeds, but the scale of Hulkingston Rovers' defeat to St Helens, 54-0, immediately reinstated them. But they are in a pretty grim run of form. They've lost their last 5 in League and Cup. Their only win in 7 since the end of March came here on Good Friday against the Castle of the Tigers. They will hope to maintain the sort of form that saw them head Leeds by 28 points to 10 and then 28-16 at half-time, but they missed out on the 2 points because of that Danny Badira's try in Edinburgh with a little over 3 minutes of the match remaining. They only led Leeds for 3 minutes, but it was the most important 3 minutes of the game. Ian Smith is the referee here. The pitch at Wakefield in magnificent order, as it always is. It's one of the best playing surfaces in the Super League, and it's going to be Wakefield to get the game in motion here. And Paul Cook, a former England international, he missed the Murrayfield match, but this is his 300th career game tonight, and Paul Cook's about to get us underway. But the referee is slightly concerned about all the mascots making their way round the back end of the pitch. He blows the whistle low, lets Paul Cook gets us underway, and here we go. Andy Lynch will carry the ball forward for the Bradford Bulls.
Big milestone as well for Paul Cook, and his coach John Keir will be looking for a top quality performance tonight. He realises you would have looked at the tapes and said, okay, Leeds, they picked us on the bell 3 minutes ago, but he will also understand that they did control that game for most of it. And they'll be looking especially towards the hooker, to Vita Leolatu, who in that first 40 minutes in Edinburgh just completely ripped the Rhinos apart. He'll be looking for a repeat tonight.
Michael Warrancy gets to his feet, plays the ball to Heath Lestrange, and the chip over the top isn't a bad chip either. It bounces a little bit unkindly at the moment for Aaron Murphy, and John Keir has been talking up Murphy for England this week. He has been ever present. Mac Blaymire is fit again, but Murphy keeps his place in the side. And John Keir says if there's a better young English fullback knocking around the Super League, he's yet to see him. There is a first knock-on and a second knock-on. The referee will play the first. And Michael Korkidas putting it down under pressure from Menzies.
And yet again, I know I keep mentioning it, but why on earth do the big fellas make the impact when a man's coming in to tackle him with the ball-carrying arm? It's always prone to be knocked down, and it certainly was quite easily from Michael Korkidas. That is a sin. John Keir will be furious.
Here's Paul Sykes. He ducks under the first challenge, brought down by those two. Paul King was one of them. This now is Lynch again. Little stuttering run from the Bradford Bulls skipper. Great offload indeed. The ball eventually going to ground. Carney picks it up for Bradford, and he is eventually cut down by Murphy. Now it's with Nick Scruton. Scruton gets to within 8 metres of the Wakefield line. Big chance this for the Bradford Bulls as Lynch drives it in once again. Looking for a big start here, Bradford, obviously. 4 tackles gone, that's how close they are to the Wakefield line. Lestrange. And the referee has penalised Wakefield for not standing square at the play the ball. And that was something that they suffered a bit with penalties in Edinburgh, if I remember.
And it's something that they worked on last weekend when they had Ian Smith and Ben Thaler down here to referee a match they played against their own second team.
Here's Scruton then, another set of 6 for the Bradford Bulls. Golden opportunity for them to post points early. It comes back to Carney, then it finds Menzies. Menzies finds Sharif, but he's slipped under the challenge of Luke George. Plays the ball then to Dave Halley. Here is Warrancy again. Warrancy trying to spin his way to the line. Halley, the dummy half, of course, he began last year here at Wakefield, then came back to Bradford and has been rewarded with a 2-year deal. He had a fantastic spell here at Wakefield. 4 tries in the 5. He was on loan. Steve McNamara got him back pretty quickly. Lestrange waits. They're 3 metres away. Back it comes to Paul Sykes. Sykes then on to Menzies. Menzies then finds Halley. He finds Reardon. And the sliding Wakefield defence is up to the task. That's the last tackle. 1 more to go.
Good work by Damien Blanche. He was not going to be pulled out of it. And he's got them for offside. Well, that was a late call.
John Keir's a little bit niggly by the looks of the fingers that are on the move.
Well, that ball had come away from the dummy half position, and it was in the hands of the first receiver before Ian Smith actually blew the whistle, raised the arm.
Well, it's a massive test again of this Wakefield defence. They scrambled well to keep the last set of 6 at bay. There's the first tackle this set. Comes back from Lestrange to Carney. Here's Menzies, and Menzies goes for it himself, flicks the ball away then to Halley, and Halley gets the ball back. He was being drilled over the line, as it is Dimitri who's drilled over the line, and Wakefield are going to get another set of 6 coming at them.
Good work there by Menzies, and they did get the numbers there, but they were unlucky. And there was no way in the world that Jason Dimitri could avoid being pushed out. Look at the flick here, the opportunity, and it looked as though the fullback was going to get it. He was very quick, but look at Menzies' upper body strength. That is great stuff.
Dimitri almost gave himself up there, because I think he thought that was a forward pass or a knock-on at least from Bradford, from Dave Halley, but the referee saw it differently. Hence the reason why Paul Sykes is in possession here and he's found Nero, and he gets it wide to Reardon, and Reardon, oh, well, he was almost there, but no, he's in touch. Great defence on that far side from Wakefield, and the opening 5 minutes, they will take great comfort from this, the Wildcats.
Beautiful tackle by Sam Ops, absolutely superb, and you can see the left knee goes right over the whitewash. Well, the sliding defence, John Keir will be absolutely ecstatic over the way that their defence got away. Not one person came out of the line. They knew exactly who to line up against.
When we talk about try scoring, that's what you remember when you go away from a rugby league game, but try saving is equally, if not more important. And on that occasion, what Sam Obbs did to cover from one side of the field where the scrum was put to the other side of the field, excellent play, strong commitment, and Wakefield showing that despite the 5 losses that they've just suffered in League and Cup, they're still a threat to be forced.
The ball has come away, 1-on-1, it's arrived at Nero.
Well, Lynch dragged it away, but surely there was another hand on there. That looked at least 2 people involved in the tackle. Play on, says Ian Smith.
Here's another penalty that goes Bradford's way, and the referee will have a word, I think. He wants a word with Jason Dimitri. Too many penalties here, 3 in a row in 6 minutes.
Well, it showed there on the slow motion that Lynch got it away just in time.
He's clearly got
and there's definitely a choking hold there from Korkidis. Well, Ian Smith is applying the whistle, but he's only applying the rules and the laws of the game.
I don't know what Korkidis is looking so disgusted about, because it was a clear grab round the neck. It's another penalty for Bradford, and you saw at the bottom of your screen the tackling that Wakefield have had to do. I think Bradford have only had to make about 8 or 9 tackles right now, and Wakefield are going to go way over the 30 mark here.
Yeah, it was 27 that flashed up, and they've really got into it.
3-0 the penalty count, though. 0-0 on the scoreboard. 6.5 minutes gone. Wakefield's line has been under siege. Here is Menzies. This is Sykes. Oh, and off the shoulder of Halley it goes back. Luke George trying to get to it. Well, that's a right schmozzle on the deck, and it's a knock-on, I think, and it's head and feed Wakefield. Relief.
Certainly was relief as well. They applied the pressure. They were looking for the dummy runner coming through, and the fullback Dave Halley just arrived a bit early. Really interesting to see that it looks as though Halley has been, well, say that he knocked on. I'm not too sure that that ball went backwards.
You know, Bradford failed to score in the last game in Super League. We saw that, of course, up in Scotland. First time, I think, in 4 years that had been the case. You'd be a little concerned if you're a Bradford supporter right now. The amount of possession you've had, I know 7 minutes isn't a long time in a game, but they're not looking that threatening. The timing of the passing and the support run, Sean, not quite there at present.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're a bit nervous, and I think if you're going to take advantage of a situation where you've got the opposition making over 30 tackles and you've had 3 penalties, then, you know, it's probably, you don't have to take that advantage straight away, but you need to take it soon, because you try to create a fatigue factor in the opposition's defence, and Wakefield have been under a lot of pressure. They've now managed to work their way down the field, and here's a relieving penalty for them.
Yeah, relieving penalty for Wakefield. You caught a glimpse earlier of Matt Orford, Bradford's playmaker-in-chief. He's still out injured, sitting in the stands tonight. But the grapple tackle now going in Korkidis' favour. Well, fair play to Ian Smith. Heath Lestrange, the man pulled out. And, you know, he has blown the whistle for grapple tackles one way, and he's now done exactly the same the other. All we want is consistency,
Spot
and
on
that's what we're getting.
Spot on. And it's about time as well.
Ferguson will drive it in here then for Wakefield. First chance they've had to attack the line.
Wouldn't surprise me they scored here as well. You know, Bradford failed to go for the kick into the corner. On all those occasions they had the possession. I think Wakefield will take that option.
This is Johnson looking for a big game. He's one of the 2 ex-Bradford players. He's played 4 grand finals with the Bulls. King, a little dummy. Warrency stood up to the challenge well. Helped out by Lestrange and Halley. Leo Lato, penalty here. Hands in at the play of the ball.
Well, the message will get through. Well, it has to. Otherwise, it's going to be stop-start all the way through this game. Messing around, quick tap, the big fella's going for it.
He is Korkidis with the drive. Stopped within half a metre of the line. Took 3 to bring him down. Leo Latu will fire the pass to Obst. Obst sees a little gap, and he's hauled back. Great defence from Lynch. Leo Latu again. Wakefield waiting and delaying, nearly catching Bradford offside. Here is Aaron Murphy, and Murphy goes for the line. Murphy will score. Well, John Keir has given him brilliant raps this week. Aaron Murphy thinks he should be in the England squad when Steve McNamara announces his team and his squad to play the French in June. And Aaron Murphy has taken the advantage here to give the England coach a little nudge. Great try from Murphy, his 4th of the season, and after all that pressure, Wakefield lead.
It's all about taking your chances. It was great build-up there by Sam Obst. And when they got the ball out wide, look how he goes on the arc. Kearney should have gone lower. They wanted to go for the ball and all smother, and the momentum takes it over. Watch, they just got too high on him. Nobody had the legs. He should have been stopped early. Take nothing away from the fullback. He reached out. You little beauty.
In his best bib and tucker tonight, John Keir, and that try from Murphy drawing applause. The best English full-back in the game at the moment, John Keir says of Aaron Murphy. Now, can Paul Cook add the extras? No, he can't. 4-0, Wakefield lead after all the pressure on their own line.
Well, you've got to admire the way that John Keir is praising the fullback, Aaron Murphy, because that was real quality. Came about with so many penalties, messing around, and the referee, he's making sure that these players understand what it's all about. Grapple tackles, knocking on, and it was just all Bradford to start with. But full credit to Wakefield. Here it is, Korkidis again. There was one that got him back. He's on the boil, is Ian Smith.
You know, you need to show the resilience to defend when you are on your own line, but you also need to show the brains and intelligence to prevent giving those type of penalties away. Otherwise, it makes it even more difficult. In a competitive league like we have this year, you really do need to spend the time with possession as much as possible. And there's so much self-inflicted workload But I'm sure John Keir and the Wakefield side will be hoping that's the end of that.
Well, the crowd appealing for a high shot by Warrancy on Luke George, but the referee unimpressed. Murphy was a dummy half. Here goes Korkidas again. That's the fourth tackle. The kick-off, by the way, from Bradford was magnificent. Bounced, and it was very, very difficult for Paul Cook to pick up. He had to trap it, got his legs in a bit of a tangle, and that gave Bradford the opportunity to put pressure on them. And talking of pressure, Scruton had Cook under pressure then, got the kick away, but it wasn't the best, only as far as Ricky Sherif.
But a pretty good chase as well. They're getting up there in numbers. That's the latest at Leeds, 0-0. It's certainly tight here as well. Oh, that looked a bit high.
Yes, it's a penalty. Danny Kermond, the young man who came to Wakefield as make weight in the transfer of Danny Bruff to Huddersfield.
Try to get out of it to the fullback Dave Halley, but he'll get no plaudits from his coach there. Giving away 35 metres downfield. It's I just get the impression now that Bradford, after that spell with so much possession, and they looked a little bit confused about it, and they've got to utilise perhaps the kick, maybe go early, don't wait until the last one.
Here's Nick Scruton. You saw Leeds 0, Warrington 0 at the bottom of your screen, and Rod Studd, our reporter on duty at Headingley tonight's been on. Apparently Jamie Peacock has left the field there with what appears to be a fairly serious leg injury. We'll get detail of that during the Super League Extra Time programme. And it's not good news that for Leeds, and it is not good news for this man, Steve McNamara, the New England coach. Of course, the England business is right at the back of his mind at the moment, but they play France in just over a month's time. Do England, and his captain, and he said if he was fit he would be the captain, his captain off the field and injured at Headingley. Right, back to the action here at Bellevue.
Let's hope that he's okay, but Bradford again just panicking at the vital moment. It was a good run from Andy Lynch, but the offload was not good.
Tavita Leolato had a fantastic match in Edinburgh. Here goes Sam Obst. Great run from Sam Obst. Almost through, but Dave Halley stood his ground.
Super sidestepping run.
Leolato to Paul Cook. Slides the kick through. Kermon's after it, and Halley to the rescue.
Beautiful kick there by the standoff Paul Cook, realising that they were all at sea. But you've got to give credit for the full-back. He read it well. It came sliding through. Let's get out of here. Beautiful run by the loose forward, Danny Kermond. He knew. That just shows you the importance of being able to talk to your players. Before he actually received that ball, Paul Cook, he was talking to his loose forward, Kermond, and said, I'm going to put the grubber through. Communication can always be the key to success.
Good length on the dropout from Paul Sykes. Here goes Korkidas at full pelt, but he's halted by Lynch. And also in there was Elliot Whitehead. Now it's with Leolato. Little hop, skip and a jump before the tacklers come in and bring him down. Warrancy and Menzies. It's Obst. Maybe forward from our angle up here, that to Johnson, but the referee in touch should say play on.
Pretty
Leolato
close.
again. Great offload once more to Johnson. He gets it wide to Gleeson. And Gleeson was under pressure from Carney, who thought about the interception there, I think. Obst, Paul King. This is Korkidas. Korkidas trying to spin out of trouble. That's the last one. Wakefield a metre short. Leolato Johnson. Paul Johnson against his former club. Second try for Wakefield. 3 years with the Bradford Bulls, this fellow, from 2004 to 2007. Then he went on to Warrington. A Super League ever present over the last 15 years. The numbers are dwindling of men who can claim that. Johnson's one of them. And Paul Johnson's just come up with his second try of the season.
And again, it came about by quick thinking from Sam Obst. This was absolutely superb. Jinking run, sidestepping. They're always going to be in trouble. Cook put a little grubber into the corner. When they got close, it was a simple, quick pass straight from the floor that played the ball area. Tavita Leolato, superb there. So often a dummy half will take a step, and that is a split second that can make sure that a man comes a bit too early. Not on this occasion. Paul Johnson knew how to come on the angle, and boy, did he come at pace.
He did. Paul Johnson, 13 times a Great Britain international. Can Paul Cook, 3 times an England international, can he add the extras this time? Yes, he can. And Wakefield are ahead by 10 points to 0. Johnson with the try. Shades of Murrayfield for Steve McNamara. And Duncan Preston, the actor, is right in front of Steve McNamara. They're a lifelong Bradford Bulls fan. The actor, of course, from Emmerdale. Always good to see Duncan at the games. He won't be happy with that scoreline, though. 10-0.
No, I'll be disappointed with the way that Brett Carney came out of the line, and Johnson came just on that little bit of an angle, went in between the gap. No point in running at the men.
Eddie, in the last few sets, what we've seen is probably Wakefield at their best. Because what they do well, they get their big man to find the floor quick, and then you get someone like Sam Obbs or Tavita Leolatu to get out of the blocks nice and quick, create a little bit of diversion, bit of footwork, and then everything's played quick for that remainder of that set of 6. And they get on that front foot. They're a very hard team to stop. So Bradford now have to slow the tackle down. They have to make sure that people like Leolatu and Obbs aren't given too much space to play and get back into this game.
Warrington ahead 6-0 at Headingley against the champions, who are in 7th in the table. Obbs with the kick. He was taken out after it had gone, but he wasn't late in the view of Ian Smith and his officials. This is Halley now, spinning out of one tackle, can't get away from the next. Super League extra time, by the way, by the red button. After we've finished here, we'll have a full report from Headingley on Leeds and Warrington. And if you're just joining us tonight, having come in late from work, the news is that Jamie Peacock is off the field for Leeds with what appears to be, according to our reporter there, Rod Studd, appears to be a serious leg injury. Details of all of that via the red button later. This is Warrancy.
Good work by Brett Carney there. He's got to settle things down a little bit. The experience there, you can see Steve Menzies. They've got to make sure that they just camp down here now. Apply the pressure, try to get another set of 6.
Last tackle here for Bradford. Lestrange gets it away to Sykes. He'll slide the kick through, looking for Whitehead. Oh, and Whitehead, well, he went for it. Blanche, in the end, he had to catch the ball and take it over the dead ball line. It's a goal line dropout.
Neat kick as well by Paul Sykes. See how it just bounces through. I think Blanche had it covered very, very well. Watch how he puts himself between the on-rushing attacker. Yeah, he had it under control, but
he just wanted it to bounce forward, not back to him, didn't he?
Yeah, but it was a fine kick by this fella, Paul Sykes.
3 tries against Wakefield for Paul Sykes at Murrayfield last year.
It's amazing, isn't it? You know, Paul Sykes is normally selected in the centres, but he always seems to just come up with the goods when he gets switched into the standoff position. I think he likes the fact that he can get the hands onto the ball a little bit more often.
Well, Bradford's match-winning run that just ended, they hope, temporarily at Murrayfield has come since this fellow Paul Sykes has been moved to the standoff position. This is Lynch now. Keeping it alive, Bradford. It's with Halley. Oh, he's lost it forward, though. And they've got it back, have the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats in the shape of Dale Ferguson.
You know what, on the evidence of the opening quarter of this match, with the number of play the balls Bradford have had attacking Wakefield's line, I'm not so sure they can score more than 20 or 24 points maximum in the match. So really, with Wakefield already 10 on the board, another 2 tries and with a penalty here to help them take them out of their own half, a quarter of the way through this game, Wakefield sitting very pretty. There doesn't seem to be the understanding in attack for Bradford when they're in this good sort of position. I know they've got players playing out of position, but a lack of cohesion when it comes to the attacking stance.
And you've got to look at the fact that their composure, that was poor there. Paul Sykes just getting his hand going right round the neck. No option at Ian Smith. There was a poor pass.
Murphy managed to hang on to the ball for Wakefield. 6 apiece now at Headingley. Tell you what, though, when you're thinking about Bradford and their second half performances this year, they're a team of 2 halves, aren't they, in 2010, as they've shown a few times this year. But Wakefield are very much up for this. Here's Kermond.
Great tackle from Sykes. It had to be as well. could have been penalised, didn't get out of the play the ball area. Oh, was that? Yeah, used him as a shepherd.
You talk about the second half comebacks though. Matt Orford was instrumental in the big one back in March at home against Wigan. They did come back from 20 points to nil. This could have almost been 16 points to nil here. You can't run behind one of your teammates. That's what Leo Latu did, and he's penalised, but they were looking threatening. When they get into that position, you back Wakefield to score every time they get down here.
Bradford won't be complaining about the penalty. It managed to clear their lines. They've lost on their last 2 visits here, you know, Bradford. 22-24 last year, 24-26 in 2008. Only 2 points the difference on both occasions, but defeats on their last 2 visits to this famous old ground.
And it's never,
of course, that Wakefield want to get out of as soon as possible.
It's never easy when you come down here, and they're proving that, aren't they? Oh, that's a shocking pass.
Menzies, it was straight in the face then.
Again, panic. That's got to be a penalty.
It was off Michael Platt's head, the pass, by the way.
It's got to be about the worst decision that Ricky Sharif could ever make there. I don't know what happened to him, but he was lying behind the play the ball and picked the ball up. Watch this. He's had a wrestle for possession. He's not got it. The man's played the ball. He's just picked it up.
It's a natural reaction from a winger, you see. They go to dummy half and they always run out. They always scoot out of there.
If O'Connor or McDermott were here now, they would be absolutely giving him some. Now, Brian Carney would defend Sharif. Well, Richard Moore's on, and he plays the ball there to Leo Latu.
They usually wait.
King.
I'm just saying it. They usually wait until it's your own player that plays the ball, not the opposition. They're under the pressure as well now, Bradford, because Wakefield won't waste the opportunity to put in the kick.
Here's Obst.
Look at Cook calling out the orders. First receiver, Johnson. Will he give it to him? Yes, he will.
It's Cook. He gives it to Paul King. Menzies with a solid tackle, but he managed to offload it to Richard Moore. No way through for Moore. That's good defence again from Bradford's captain, Andy Lynch. Last tackle here for Wakefield. It's with Leo Latu. Here's Obst. Plays it back to Johnson. Crunching tackle from Whitehead. What a hit.
Certainly was.
Not ready.
Johnson gets up and said, where did that come from?
He's in the way.
Well, it's had a bit of a rake cross on it. You could see the body language there of Sam Obst spinning before he offloaded the ball. It's a big rake cross on it.
What a hit, though, on Johnson.
Well, we saw a quick shot there of the Wakefield coach, John Keane. He'll be a bit disappointed. And on every other build-up, they put the kick in. On that occasion, they went for the power play. I don't know why.
Carney, who has been kept fairly quiet thus far by Wakefield, who lead 10-0 after 24 minutes here at Bellevue. Glenn Hall trying to work the ball upfield for the Bradford Bulls. Substitute Glenn Hall. High kick is collected on the full by Luke George. And he'll run it back as far as Carney and Halley.
And that wasn't the best chase either from the Bulls on that occasion. It was a deep kick. Okay, it was down the throat, but good work yet again.
He's showing up well, Murphy, when he has the ball, doesn't he?
He certainly does. And he's eager to get involved as well. Oh, great stuff!
Blanche right over the top of Carney, and Carney is still down. Here is Cook, and Cook trying to break through the tackle. He does. Can't get away from the next one in, though. It's a knock-on.
Just lost control of it. They're spinning him around.
Michael Platt, I think, with the important hit here. Look at that. He got out of that one.
Okay.
There.
It's all right to me, mate.
And you can see that Platt was trying to twist him around. There was no way that Cook could utilise any arm. He had to go down with the ball carrier now. As soon as he made the impact, it just wobbled away. But it's a big problem for Steve McNamara because they are just cutting them apart at Wakefield in and around the play the ball area with so much ease.
Well, it's another area, Steve, isn't it, where Wakefield are very good. Luke George returned the ball. He got numbers in the tackle. It wasn't a quick play of the ball. Damien Blanche came out, went a little cross play with Aaron Murphy back up the inside. He got halfway through, quick play of the ball. Damien Blanche goes. They've got guys with pace, plenty of pace, plenty of strength there. Wakefield are very dangerous, as I said before. When any team's allowed to play on the front foot, they're particularly dangerous. Wakefield are very, very good at it.
10-0, Bradford. They threatened the Wakefield line a number of occasions in the opening 6 minutes, but since then, since Wakefield kept them at bay. It's been all the Wildcats. And it's a good offload, though. Here's Carney.
It's been great defence as well. They really are talking to each other, getting themselves organised. No one comes out of the line. They really are playing well. Look at that. They're allowing the Bulls no room to move.
Smothering defence.
Surely they'll get some height on this for a change. No, they've gone for length.
Gone for length, and I think he's going to go... Oh, it's a great kick, actually. It looked as though we had too much on it. Luke George is he in the field of play? No, he isn't. He's grounded in the in-goal area.
Great stuff. Steve McNamara will be happy with that. Ricky Sharif, look at the upper body strength here. Bang, straight back in. He was in the field of play for a few seconds. Sufficient. They get the ball back. But they've got to make sure that they calm down slightly. It's as though they want to try to score on every single play.
It's the second goal line dropout they've had. They weren't that dangerous or threatening on the last. Maybe as the fatigue setting in here now and some changes, they might find some more chinks. But again, I think it's the timing of the run and the knowledge of the players out wide to understand what the central players are trying to do in possession here is a test for Bradford.
Good deep kick to halfway, but Glenn Hall will run it back for Bradford. Mentioned their poor recent run on this ground. Their last win here, 14-4 in the 5th round of the Cup in May 3 years ago. Their last Super League win came the previous month of 2007, 36-24. They're having to come from 10-0 down here if they're going to claim victory tonight in Engage Super League's 15th season. This is Carney.
That looked forward, didn't it? Lynch had run over.
Good defence there from Dale Ferguson. And he's hurt is the man playing the ball. Carney, that would be a blow. Whitehead goes down on the last challenge. There's Lestrange. Now it's with Sykes. Sykes tries to slip the kick in. It was played at, and Blanche was first to react.
Good job that Sykes got back very, very quickly indeed. Because Blanche has got the speed. He would have been well and truly away.
Carney's in all sorts of strife out here on the near side. Blanche was the man who came up with a very important interception of that ball as it bounced off one of his defender's feet. Down to Bill. I think you've got news of Brett Carney, Bill.
Yeah, Brett Carney's really been in the wars in the last few minutes. The latest problem is the left ankle. That's the most recent injury, but prior to that we saw him down on the halfway line a few minutes ago. He got a heavy knock and had a visit from a couple of visits on the run from a physio, but there you see the left ankle going underneath him, so he really is struggling and he's hobbling his way back at the moment, not looking at all convincing, and that would be a big blow. Orford already out. There's another Bulls player down on all fours on the halfway line as well, so they've got problems.
Yes, Andy Lynch it is, the skipper. The problems are mounting for Bradford. Carney's not well, and Lynch, immediately he made that tackle, he stayed on the floor, and Andy Lynch isn't the sort of man who does that, the Bradford Bulls captain.
And the amazing thing is that Wakefield did not take the opportunity. They had 3 play the balls, and they did not attack on that left-hand side. This is where Lynch goes in a bit awkward. Well, it doesn't look as though there's any contact with the knee or anything, but maybe the shoulder.
Carney still trying to walk the injury on the left ankle off.
Well, it's a big decision now for Steve McNamara. We did see that both Lynch and Carney can sort of shake it off, because they'll have to push both of these players out of the heavy workload.
Andy, just do that. You just got a touch of blood.
Lynch will stay there and make himself a nuisance.
Yeah, 2 key players for Bradford, Lynch and Carney.
With Orford not playing, sat next to the coach in the stand, Andy Lynch's importance to the side and presence on the field is doubled, I think, here tonight. The other important player missing for Bradford will be Jamie Langley, a fantastic player for them this season, one of the most consistent performers in the forwards, and a side who helps to take the side forward and control a lot of what they do in defence, so they need Lynch on the field for as long as possible tonight.
Well, the clock has restarted, 29 minutes, so they're about gone. This is Nero. All over him, nowhere to go then. Kevin Henderson, the Scottish international, wearing number 17. And James Donaldson, the young second rower, the 18-year-old, gets to his feet. Will play the ball here to Godwin. Godwin to Hall. Bradford fans will remember forever the last-minute try that Glenn Hall came up with to win that match against Wigan that Phil was referring to in March, when they came from 20-0 down at half-time.
Well, Steve McNamara's got to change the tactics from the Bulls.
That's forward.
Oh, that's a forward a mile. That is,
they got in a right pickle.
And that is just sheer panic. And the thing is, how many times have we seen from the Bulls, and a little bit of fisticuffs there in back play, but how many times have we seen Bradford in possession, using the ball back on the inside? No doubt about it, it was drifting forward.
You saw Andy Lynch cutting a disconsolate-looking figure on the bench. He's been taken off, the Bradford skipper.
I can't believe it, Eddie. The tactics from the Bulls is that they're in and around the play the ball area. They're running one way and bringing back somebody back on the inside. And it's just easy meat for this Wakefield defence.
Richard Moore tackled on tackle number 3 this latest set of 6. It's with Paul Cook trying to go inside, then he becomes the meat in a Bradford sandwich. Leolato again waits, gets the ball away to Ferguson. Menzies with the tackle. Leeds hit the front against Warrington. Cook, whoa, he was clattered after the ball had gone by Scruton. Very well claimed though by Stuart Reardon. Oh, great defence from Wakefield. Damien Blanche in there, but it was the push and the shove from Sam Obst. And now Bradford desperate to get the ball away from their own line. Good run from Michael Platt.
Certainly
and gets
was.
the penalty.
Certainly was. And that's what they were needing. We saw there the previous play the ball. Paul Sykes, instead of running from the dummy half, as Platt does, and gets the man out of position. He was well and truly offside. But it amazed me that Paul Sykes actually passed the ball with about a metre from his own line. Just caught out there, Richard Moore, brought about by quick thinking by Platt.
Meters, Kevin. Hold,
Can't believe that. You know, it's okay lining up a winger, but you've got to run from the dummy half in a position like that. Possession is vital.
Wakefield met Bradford 3 times last year. Forward pass, though, has gone against Bradford here. They met them 3 times, did Wakefield. They lost twice to the Bulls. They won here in April, lost to them at Murrayfield, and then were beaten at Odsal. Definite forward pass from Godwin. There's some disgruntled voices from Bradford in the ear of the referee, but he's having none of it.
No, he's spot on, and Wayne Godwin has been around, is experienced enough to know that if somebody overruns you, just stay with the ball, just go down, play it.
Cook takes the first tackle this set of 6 from the forward pass and the scrum. Down to Bill.
Yeah, it's better news about Andy Lynch. When he went down all fours, it really did look as though he'd picked up some sort of serious injury. It turns out he's got a bang on the shoulder, just really caused him a lot of pain instantly. It seems to be wearing off, but they're keeping him off the field until half-time. He was due a breather anyway.
Sean McRae, a forward pass-a-thon over the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's just some poor timing, both sides there. I think there was a little bit of mucking around of the play of the ball there. That certainly affected the pass there. But I just wanted to go back to one a bit earlier, though, Eddie. I believe it should have been a penalty to Wakefield some time ago when the pass was forward. I think it was purposely thrown forward to a player in an offside position. I think Wakefield were a bit unlucky not to get a penalty, and I think the people watching this at home probably did. I hope they understand that there's a deliberate forward pass and there's an accidental forward pass, and if a player is coming from an onside position, then we tend to see a scrum pack down. But if a player is in an offside position and the ball's passed forward to him, then it should be a penalty.
The Australian is coming out of you there, Sean, that is for sure. Down under, yes. They do it all the time, but it's very, very rare that our merry whistleblower.
Well, you're asking for Jason Demetriou again for a second discussion with the Wakefield skipper.
Right, listen to me. I told you about the accumulation of penalties. So warning now, you need to sort it out, Jason. You as captain. Everything. Just accumulation of penalties.
What do you want me to sort out, referee? Everything.
Well, he won't be impressed, John Keir, but the one thing he will be happy with is that the way that their defensive line has been very solid indeed. Not many breaks by the Bulls against Wakefield tonight, and well, will they still try to do this crisscross, bringing someone back? It has not been effective as yet.
Here's Glenn Hall. Takes 3 to bring the big Australian down. Glenn Hall First ever goal in the cup last week for Glenn Hall, by the way. And this is a chance here for the substitute James Donaldson. A metre or so away from the Wakefield line. They're quickly off it. This is Carney. Nice little flick to Menzies. Steve Menzies trying to skip his way to the line. There's the fourth tackle. Godwin at dummy half, untidy, finds Sykes. He finds the supporting act alongside him. And it was Hall again. And here is Sykes. Kick again bounces off a Wakefield knee and Obst. Well, he's grateful for the gift and they can't put him down.
Well, there's not much about him, is there, Sam Obst, but he's having a wow of a game. He's a man that is really at Wakefield on the go forward. Some great running from dummy half.
Leolatu again.
The difference
about 5
between
minutes away from half-time.
Difference between the two sides, as far as I'm concerned, is the defensive line from Wakefield. We've already mentioned that, but there's far more composure being shown by the Wakefield outfit.
A bit of aggression as well when they carry the ball forward.
Yeah, good, hard, solid, just simple, basic rugby league football. And a kick into the corner, put a lot of pressure. How's the chase? Brilliant. And who's leading it? Little Sam Obst.
Reardon can't get away. Andy Lynch will be Brian Carney's guest on Super League's Supermen next week. Here goes Michael Platt. It's a good run. That's a really good run from Michael Platt. A sensational run. Over halfway.
That'll lift the balls they needed. Quick play the ball and they're onto it. Just overrun it a bit discreet and there. He was at full pace.
Here's Carney. Thinking about the kick wide, taking them on. Great ball to Menzies. Oh, and a little knock on. Or was it a forward pass?
It was a forward. He tried to offload it, Menzies, and yet again Steve McNamara will be saying, why are we trying to force it? It was a great offload to start with from Carney, but it was a poor attempt there by the experienced Menzies. Sheer panic.
I think it might be because it's nearly 2 hours since Bradford scored a try in Super League, and I think they're becoming more frustrated themselves as players. It is difficult because the tension's growing. They know they've had a lot of opportunities down in a good part of the field. They're without some of the better players on the field, and they're just looking for somehow to magic that first try to re-find some confidence.
Wakefield look like they are trying to avoid an ignominious statistic tonight because, oh, what have I done to them? Because if they lose here, it would be their 200th reverse in Super League football. But, well, until this moment here and the little knock-on, which is going to put them under pressure in the last 3.5 minutes or so of this first half, they have done just about everything right.
Well, they have, Eddie, quite right. I just wanted to follow up on what Phil was saying. I actually think that Bradford are looking a little bit better with the ball. I think their last couple of sets have been more positive. They've played a little more direct. They're throwing some passes into people who run into some holes. They weren't doing that in the early exchange of this game. Perhaps the first 20-25 minutes, it was too lateral. They were playing what we call too much overs. But Michael Platt's been very influential.
He has, and he's influential again here. He's halted, though, 10 metres away on the first tackle. And that's Godwin, who will go for the posts. The referee screams that he's held, so Paul Cook has got to let him go, which he does. Glenn Hall finds Carney. Carney gets the ball away, and that was Whitehead. Plays it quickly to Carney. Chance here for Bradford. Again, this Wakefield defence muscles up and keeps him out. It's with Sykes. Here is Hall again on the charge.
Well, surely they'll go for the kick. Little grubber in the in goal. Maybe go for towards the padding on the post.
This is the last tackle. What's Sykes got in the locker? Well, it's off his head, so play on, says the referee. And again, Aaron Murphy does really well.
Surely, Steve McNamara has got to get the message out and say, look, we've got to camp down there. That is just sheer luck where you say, well, I'll test my arm, when they really needed another set of 6, apply the pressure. Time and time again, Wakefield have just said thank you very much indeed, and we'll drive it. And the most important thing, as far as John Keir and the players are concerned, is that the power in the forwards, that aggressiveness, is getting them into a good position when it comes to the last.
James Donaldson might have a bit of a headache after receiving that bullet pass straight in the face. Here, though, is Ricky Sharif. But it's the chase and it's the vigour of Wakefield's tackling that's catching the eye. Here's Dave Halley. Gets it away to Menzies. Now what can the old man do? 36 years of age, he's still got it though, hasn't he? Halley with the ball in field.
That was
Wakefield
dangerous.
though swarming around him.
Ops nearly took the intercept there. Reardon did well to pull it in. Well, the 10 points adrift and...
Great offload from Whitehead. Here is Reardon.
I'm just saying, Steve McNamara will say, look, if we can get to the halfway, have a bit of a chat with him, and he'll probably be saying to him and say, look, you know, Wakefield did tire against Leeds a fortnight ago in Edinburgh. We're not out of this yet. 10 points, it's not a lot in Super League these days.
Carney gets the ball wide. It eventually arrives with Reardon, who calls Nero back on his inside. Great ball from Whitehead to Sykes. Back then to Menzies. Menzies then keeps it alive to Sykes. They go wide. It's Nero. They must be in. They are in. Bradford
Did he get it down?
The referee is asking the same question that you are, Steve-O. Did he ground it, or is it touch in goal with one of the legs?
Now it hits the ground. Oh, I think that's just touched. I think that's touched. Yeah,
it's touched there, but look where the body is. Is it over the line? I'm not sure he gets it down first time. I'm not sure actually that he's over the line anyway.
He's short there, and I think he gets a little bit of it now.
Well, if he look at that, the corner post's gone over.
Now watch the leg. He's short of the line there, but momentum takes him over the whitewash now, but the ball is going upwards. But I think you'll see a force down from Nero just a few seconds after it, and I think this try will be given.
Nero throws Bradford a lifeline on the stroke of half-time. A hat-trick for this fellow against Lee last week in the Cup. Those 3 tries included his 70th try in the British game. He got a couple of tries in a home win against Wakefield last June, 36-22, and he has come up with the most important 4 points so far for him this season. It's given Bradford hope for the second half.
This was the best passenger play, even though it was a poor pass from Carney to set it off. But Reardon back on the inside, by far their best support play. Menzies back on the inside from Sykes, then back to Sykes. Sykes had enough common sense to flick it over the top. Fullback couldn't get back in time. Nero just gets it down. Great work there. They tried everything to the fullback, but it was insufficient. And Nero has given the Bulls hope.
He has. The half-time siren has sounded in the background. So at the moment it's 10-4. If Sykes converts this, it will be 10-6. And what a different team talk for Steve McNamara. Although he'll probably emphasise some of the points he was going to make anyway. But 10-6, it's an obvious thing to say. It's a much easier and better team talk he can issue at half-time than 10-zip. Sykes lining this up, doesn't need to rush, the siren's gone. It's a good kick. Oh, it's just swerved away at the last minute. It's like one of your putts, Steve-O, on the 14th green. 10-4, Wakefield lead. Wakefield's half for 39 minutes and 45 seconds, and then Nero comes up with the try that gives the Bradford Bulls hope. Murphy and Johnson